Our task today is to outline my progress and questions regarding setting up an off-grid communications structure using the TruSDX. The general concept we're pursuing is to try to accomplish the farthest distance communications over the airwaves by utilizing lower frequencies, but do that at a reasonable cost and also accomplish it using a reasonable sized antenna system. We've come across the TruSDX radio that's available, and it's quite intriguing. It does cover the bands shown here, which constitute some very good distances we can accomplish. So that's the basis for the system that I've put together here today that we're going to discuss. It's not just the radio though that is required, but we also need to have a good antenna tuner, and source of power, along with other accessories. Shown here are the supported frequencies and the items chosen for those tasks based on their ability to operate at low power or no power in very many of these cases, in the case of the antenna tuner, so that it provides a good off-grid source based on utilizing very little power as well. When we talk about costs, here's some of the costs you can get online. You know how online is, things change all the time, but these are some general costs, including the ability to build these yourself with kits if you are so inclined. The real specific questions start revolving around the use of the antenna tuner and how to make sure that you have a tuned antenna system so that you can broadcast properly. That involves an additional item. In my particular case, a unit called the Light VNA, which I will show you, that allows us to figure out what the right settings are and accomplish a tuned system, showing, amongst other things, a statistic called SWR. Here's the actual hardware and all the pieces used for implementing this solution. Included in there is the Light VNA, the antenna tuner, the TruSDX radio itself, another unit called the Nano something or another. I'll tell you about that one in a bit. Will let us confirm that transmissions are occurring, and then you'll see the cable going outside to the antenna un, they call it, going over to that pole and the pole on the other end. There's the actual antenna un hanging out the window, 2 stories up. There's an intermediate little rubber grommet that's available, and it's attached here to a pole with tie wraps, and that goes across to a pole at the back of that shed, the farthest point I can go. So I can't go straight, but it's not too bad. It goes up to that window. There's also this ground wire. It goes down kind of under the deck, and it just kind of lies there in that window well. So I'd say that's on the ground as instructed, I'm hoping, and approximately 25 feet. From the antenna maker, here's their data sheet on how to lay out the antenna. There's the I call it unbalanced, because that's what they claim it is. Here's your ground wire, optionally 25 to 50 feet. I did see that it helped most of the time. And then some sort of way to lay it out. Here is actually anything less than 10 megahertz should be up at least 15 feet, which I think I'm mostly accomplishing, and where I have most of my success anyways. From the Radio Canada website, Amateur Radio Canada, this is most of the bands that we can talk on as a licensed ham operator. And these are the ones that the TruSDX works with. So this is the basis for the tests, is to get these default frequencies supported by the TruSDX truly functional in a tuned structure so that we can use it.